So we spent a few more nights at Bethungra. Did I get it right?
Bethungra Dam, yeah.
Nice. And then we headed...
So we stayed at Bethungra Dam. We ended up there 4 nights. We had a heat wave, we had a storm.
we had lots of cows.
Yeah, it was a nice spot, but it just got too hot. So we decided to move on, and we had a couple of sites lined up that we were thinking about, but we got to them and they were no good. We pushed on to Wyangala Dam, which is where we are now, and we're here for a week, which coincided with cod opening. So we've been doing a bit of cod fishing and yellowbelly fishing. We've kept the boat in the water the whole time here. It's been really good here. We've had a mixed bag of weather. Our gazebo's no longer with us.
But that's okay, because we kind of wanted to upgrade that anyway to one that can handle wind a little bit better. The one that we had, I mean, like, it was good, but it was just very square and very just... You had to make sure you positioned it in the right position when you put it up and everything. So
yeah, we'll get a dome structure this time so it folds over in the wind instead of a typical market type one that just collapses and becomes a tangled mess. So that happened while we were here. It was a hell of a storm, but outside of that, nothing else happened poorly to us. Highlights of the trip is we've caught some fish, which is great. A F-35 Lockheed Martin fighter jet did a low pass over the dam. That was pretty damn cool. But as you can imagine, it happens quick, so there was no filming that.
the most exciting thing that's happened here is the goats. That might sound crazy, but it has made going out on the boat with Gusto just that little bit more enjoyable. So whilst we're fishing, he's sort of scoping the edge to see if he can see any goats. If they don't bleat, if that's the noise that they make, whatever it is, he doesn't see them, but if he hears them and then he spots them, he has a bit of a go at them, doesn't he?
Yeah, so we've seen a fair bit of wildlife here at this dam. It's got quite rocky, steep banks, so the goats like getting right up on the water's edge. We saw a fairly large goanna. There's kangaroos everywhere, one of which I nearly crashed into walking up to the shower block at night time.
Turtle?
Yeah, caught a turtle today. He was just swimming along in the shallows, grabbed him to have a look. We saw a water rat, probably a ricali or something like that, having a bit of a swim.
Pelicans?
Yeah, there's lots of different bird life here. We saw a big spoonbill cruising along the shallows. The pelicans are here and all the other typical Australian birds.
It's the first time I've camped on a dam properly, like for a good few nights, and it's been a bit sort of eye-opening, I guess. I didn't expect it's quite calm tonight, but just for it to be as wavy, some nights when we've stayed here, it's felt like we're at the ocean. Like you can literally you can hear the waves going. I've woken up a couple of times and had that moment of, hold on, where am I? Just because I didn't expect that, I guess.
The truck's only parked about 5 metres from the water's edge, so when there's a fair bit of a chop blowing, it sounds like the waves are crashing onto the side of the truck. But it's been great here. I'd happily stay here for longer, to be honest. It's great sunsets. With all the strange weather we've been getting, there's always been clouds of an evening, with the exception of tonight. It's still blue skies, so we've had really good sunsets.
So during the trip, Perry's caught 2 cod and 2 yellow, and I've caught a yellow. Tomorrow morning will probably be our last sort of time to fish. It's meant to come into some bad weather midday-ish tomorrow, and then we're heading off the next day. So fingers crossed that there'll be a cod photo with me in it. Don't really want to hold it, but that's okay.
That's the goal tomorrow morning, get Kaz a cod. So we'll just fish hard if the weather lets us, and yeah, the weather's kind of stopped us from fishing a bit because it's not like we're in a rush, so we don't really fish in poor weather, so we just take the chances we can when it's good.
Not only that, we've also got to consider Gusto, so on times where we might go out, because yeah, it's sunny and it doesn't really matter, like, you know, we can manage our own heat, we sort of take into account if it's too hot for him or what his needs are as well. On the boat during the week, he's become more needy, hasn't he? Like wanting to be next to us all the time.
He's been fine on the boat up until this week, and then one session he just decided that if he wasn't at your feet, he was barking non-stop. So we normally have him on the lead on the boat to keep him away from the lures, but we've been getting him off lead now and just covering up the lures that are on the rods laying down, but we'll get some lure wraps to go over them because we don't really want him to get a hook stuck in him.
And in true gusto form, like the nose of the boat, like the highest part of the boat where there's no railing or anything like that, like there's all trip hazards, it's where the electric motor is and stuff, that's where he wants to be.
Yeah, he stands up the front like a bonnet badge on an old car.
But he seems to love it, like when we're going and the wind's in his face and the nose is out and he's sniffing, so... And we just like go to his sort of pace as well, so he'll sort of look at Perry and give him the look as if to go, nah, this is too fast, and sort of go to climb up my arm, and we just back off and go at his pace.
Yeah, it's not so much the speed, it's when it gets rough out there and the boat starts bouncing around, he doesn't like it. But it's alright, we're in no rush.
I guess the one thing I would say is that if you haven't been to Wyangala Dam, it's definitely a place to put on your destination list. It's so vast here. No, that's not the right word. It's so diverse here.
It's a very diverse fishery. There's two rivers come into Wyangala, so you got the main dam. Dam's like a big horseshoe. You got the main dam, and then the Abercrombie River arm comes into it, which we explored a bit of today. And then I think the other arm's the Lachlan. We haven't even been into the Lachlan. It's just such a big dam when you've got a small boat. But you can go from fishing flat open banks, much like Copton, through to fishing steep rock walls similar to Lake Eildon, and then sunken timber of many other lakes. It reminds me a little bit of Glenbourne at times as well. It's just a really diverse fishery, and it's got cod, yellow belly, redfin, rainbow and brown trout, and carp and mirror carp as well. We sighted up a bunch of carp the other day and there was 2 mirrors in them. I've yet to catch a mirror carp. I want to get one on fly. So I come back, got the fly rod together, went back to the spot, they were gone. Went back there the next 2 days, they weren't there. Sighted one more mirror carp in a fleeting moment and haven't come across them again, so the mirror carp just has to wait a bit longer.
And it's been cool, like, so just sitting in the chairs outside camp, because we're so close to the water, I didn't realise that carp jumped, and I call it playful, it's probably not playful, but they've been entertaining, haven't they?
Yeah, a bit of subsurface feeding, so they belly flop and fin about the surface and carry on.
There was one just
like
then.
That.
Right on cue. But yeah, it's a place that you could honestly stay, I reckon, up to a month, really. You wouldn't get bored of it. Like, if you're a fisher person, definitely wouldn't get bored of it.
That'll do.
That'll do. It's your turn today.
For what?
The word.
I don't do that.
Yeah,
No.
we do it. Go on.
No.
We'll do it together.
No, I don't do that. That is all.
There isn't any more.